Natalia, thank you very much for coming. Let's do this in English, all right?
Yes,
We're from
English
the
or
same-
Portuguese?
We can do Portuguese. So this is a interview. It's actually like a consultation disguised as an interview because I have so many questions.
Yeah, no, but that's not legal advice.
That's not legal advice. Yeah, that's one thing. Look, Natalia, Kako, Natalia is IP. How can I describe that? IP
I'm
licensing.
a business and intellectual property attorney.
Yeah, IP.
Yes.
And
What is
license.
intellectual property? I think
Yeah,
just for
there you go.
everybody understand what we're talking about is like the protection of ideas.
All right.
So some ideas can be protected. So
Yeah.
that's
So I brought you here because it's as you saw, we sell toy cars, model cars, and we race those cars, and we have many companies doing this all around the world. They mainly manufacture in China, but the companies are based in Europe, in Australia, whatever it is, here in America, Canada, and we do literally models of real racing cars. And many times I see on social media, and you see people complaining about, well, why this company doesn't do a Ferrari? Why this company doesn't do a Porsche? And at the same time, some companies, smaller ones, they do those cars without licensing. Some people fight for the license and they can get it. And at the same time, bigger companies from the slot car world, they do with the licensing and they try to protect that, and they try to make the smaller companies don't do it. As we spoke before, it's very complicated for us as a sellers to figure out what people can do and cannot do it. And I know that as a not 100% legal advice, and we need to put like a red seal every time that she speaks, like not legal, not real legal advice. She's a lawyer, but it's not valid. It's hard for us to understand, and it's hard for us to sell because the laws are different all around the world. I think they are similar, but if you're doing something as a documental piece, like a car who raced in 1969, there's so many people in Spain. If you do a car that is like 50 years or older, you don't have to take care of design. You just need to be aware of logos. I want you to talk a little bit more because I'm just talking a lot of bullshit here.
okay.
Again, this is a consultation disguised as an interview. So
Yeah, no, it's an
Thank you very
interview.
much.
It's an interview for
Yeah, I
educational
know.
purpose only. It's not legal advice.
I know.
So I'm gonna be very general here. So we are talking about IP. You know, I don't know who your audience is, but
just a
it's
bunch of curious people that
curious. Yeah,
just
they're not
curious
lawyers.
people.
So I'm not
They're-
gonna talk to lawyers here.
Yes.
So I'm gonna try to use a very simple language. So like I said, what is intellectual property? Intellectual property is like they are like some ideas can be protected legally. Okay, it's not any idea. I have an idea, I'm gonna get protection. No, it's an idea that needs to be original and that fulfill certain requirements. So you have ideas for names of products or service. Okay, that's one thing. What is that? Trademarks. So every time I have a service or a product and I create a name for the service or the product, that's a trademark. Why? Because it's gonna distinguish my service or products from others in the market. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the grocery store. I'm gonna buy soap. So which brand of soap I'm gonna buy? So every soap has a brand, a trademark. And then I recognize that product to the trademark. Same thing as a service. I'm a lawyer. I provide a service. So here at your store, you provide products that are the cars, the replicas of the
racing cars,
the racing cars, and also you provide a service that's selling merchandise. So those two, and you have the name of your store here. You don't need to register a trademark in order to own a trademark in the United States. Okay, but if you don't register, you're gonna have years and years and years of discussion that you own the trademark. If someone said, "Okay, I own the trademark," so you have to go to prove who he was using first. So that's why we recommend to register a trademark. So at least you have some proof of ownership. That's one thing. Okay, the name of the product and service. Another thing is another idea that is an idea from my mind that I put in a tangible format. Okay, what can a book,
A design of something.
design, like some like make a movie, those scenes of the movie. That there are ideas that can be representing something that I can
Like
touch.
merchandising from Transformers.
The drawing
Okay.
could be a copyright. That's another type of idea. I'm gonna get to patents. So the drawing of the cars, the design of the car, draw in a piece of paper, that could be protected to trademark. Sorry, through copyright.
Okay.
Okay.
But not trademark.
It could, if it's a different design that's gonna differentiate your product, what we call trade dress. Trade dress is the clothes that the product's wearing.
Okay. So a car is a car, but a car with 3 wheels could be a trademark thing.
Could be a trademark if you use as a trademark to distinguish your products or service. Okay?
Alright.
If you use a logo, for example, that has a car, could be a trademark. But also people can recognize things to trade dress. For example, the red sole from the shoe. I forgot.
Oh yeah,
I forgot his name.
as they say, the bloody shoes.
Yes,
I
that's
know.
a trademark because it's a red sole for
so
Louboutin. So that's a trademark.
So I cannot make any shoes with a red bottom.
That's the yes and no. Okay,
Okay.
that's not 100%. But if it's protected as a trademark, as a trade dress, no. The packaging also can be protected as a
Yeah.
trademark. But let's go back to copyright. But that's like drawings, some music, latex, books, software.
But no image.
What do you mean by image?
Let's use one of maybe the most popular car of all time, Ferrari. Ferrari is protected their design, their trademark as their logo, the trademark as their name, and the image of Ferrari.
Yeah, one thing is the image, like we are seeing here. See, you have like those drawings. This is copyright, paintings, drawings. And there is another thing that is you can have registration for. There are patents. So we have patents which are inventions. I create a new engine that is different from everything else. I create a medicine, could be patent, like the formula. And also you have design patent, which you protect the design. If the design is something unique, you can have a patent for the design.
Okay.
So
in a case of a model car, I'm talking about the trademark of the car, of the brand. Oh my God, so many.
yeah, you have it's one idea can be protected in many forms. So
forms.
just before I answer your question, so in order to have copyright and trademark, you don't need to register. Okay, you register the trademark with the USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office, and the copyright with the Copyright Office. So you file a registration form and you get registration. Patents you need to register in order to have ownership, but it's an exchange, and you register with the USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office. But then you make a public disclosure of your patents. But anybody can use that. Now, once you file, it's yours, and you have like a period of time that you can use the patent. It's only you can use it. It's exclusive. So when you're talking about cars, we have the brand, the trademark.
The logo, if I need to.
The logo could be, You could have a patent design also if the car is very exclusive, the design. You might have a copyright over the design. I'm not saying like this is it's not something simple, so I don't know if you should go in there because copyrights, you can copyright a design, but they cannot be functional. What does that mean? Like I'm gonna give an example of a lamp. Okay, that's the main example. Okay. Somebody created this lamp which had a cat in the middle of the lamp. The lamp itself is functional. Okay. Why? Because I plug, it gives me light. But if I remove that, but it has this cat in the middle, so I remove the cat becomes kind of a sculpture. So this could be copyrighted.
Okay. Well,
it's called the separability test.
The Philip Stark horse lamp.
Yes. So you can then you can have copyright, but it's not one size fit all solution.
Well, because
Yeah.
it's just at the end of the day, if I put a lamp on the head of a horse in a different way, that's my design now.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can have like it's not only one protection. We can have, like I said, in one thing could have like a good example of that is like medicine. I create something like a drug. I have
Okay.
the name of the drug. It's a trademark. I
The-
can have a patent.
For the formula.
Yeah, for the formula, so we can have more than one. But also another important thing you were talking about, you made something in China, it's out here, the brand is not from here. So intellectual property, you don't have worldwide protection. It's
Loophole.
That's China.
There you go. Okay.
yes, the protection is only in the territory. Let's say here in the United States, Brazil, you have to register your idea,
In all of the countries.
all of the
And
countries.
the laws may differ. So.
Then the laws are different. I only can answer for
Yeah.
United States and Brazil, which
Okay.
I'm licensed.
All right.
I cannot say anything else about other countries. There are treaties, international treaties,
Okay.
that like you can get some international protection. Like for example, copyrights. There's the Berne Convention, which give me protection. Like let's say I have a copyright, like I want a copyright in Brazil, I can have protection, certain protection here in the United States without registering.
Okay.
But you don't get all the rights, they lose some. But like you have to case by case, and you have to see if there's an international treaty. But I was like, listen, the president of the director of the USPTO, Katie Vidal, and she was giving an example about Brazil, that she was in Brazil and there was someone in the audience said,
Oh my
like I
God.
create this drug, it's amazing. She asked, did you register in the United States with the USPTO? The person said no. So what happens? Someone can come here and register.
And just reverse engineer whatever is the case.
Yeah, no, I have the rights here in this country.
Oh.
I have the rights in the United States, you have in Brazil, so that's important to register. Like all
But
countries
then-
you are gonna.
But then they go to see a judge and maybe they're gonna be reasonable.
No, because protection is to the territory. You don't have, if I create something back in Brazil, remember, we are from Brazil, so a lot of brands copy. We see something very similar back in Brazil
Yeah.
from the brands here.
Yeah. And vice versa too, right here. that
Yeah,
happens too.
so
Yeah.
so protection is only granted in the.
It's a lot of gray areas for me because we get, as I told you, like we get products from all around the world and they have different laws. And some people say, no, here in my country it's fine. I'm not copying the design. I'm not copying the trademark. I'm not copying any IP. I just copying the design, and the design is not registered. They're not protected in my country, so I can do a car that is very similar. But at the end of the day, when it comes here, we're selling the car by the brand. Everybody knows that it's a copy of that brand. So I feel like it's not fair for the brand, as big as they could be, and as minimal this little model car will represent by the end of the year. But I don't think it's fair when you decide to defend yourself saying, no, in my country, the design is not protected. I'm not using any logos. I'm just making a replica of the car. Because we're selling it as the car. Even if I don't put the name on my listing, people are buying because it's the car. And it gets complicated for me. And today, all the manufacturers that I know, they're very afraid of some brands. Some other brands, they don't take any action. I had Zach Brown here, and we had a couple of McLarens, and only one McLaren from NSR was the one that actually licensed by them. They have like a seal and everything correct. And I showed the other ones. Oh, those other ones are not licensed. They say, I don't care. I just want to see people playing with my cars and having the McLarens all around, so it's fine. Because it's a small industry, and at the same time, doesn't represent much on sales or doesn't gonna make any difference on the end of the year. And I feel like it's very hard to get around it. Like we were working with Nissan to get a license for a specific car, and Nissan in the middle of our license process, they changed the office here in the United States, and they stopped answering us. We paid a certain amount, and then after months and months, we discovered who were the new office, and then I'm gonna take care of this for you, and delayed the release of the car. And at the same time, the same model has been made for from another company that couldn't care less about the license, and then they release and they sell tens of thousands of cars. So it's something that I understand that needs to be done, but it's even with you here explaining to me, it's still like a lot of gray areas, a lot of potential loopholes, and it's not easy access. It's not like I'm gonna go to Toyota and say, "Oh, hi Toyota, who can I call about licensing?" It's something that you need to know somebody, and need to know the office to get around, and maybe they're gonna price whatever they want to price because it's different. It's not something super clear.
Yeah, the law is not clear. So
The law's not clear either. Yeah,
it's case by case.
case by case. Like
Facts.
as I told you also, like we are releasing a new car here, and I have a very good relationship with the driver that I don't want to mention. And I sent a message to him. Look, was a 24-hour race. You have 3 drivers. We want to release the car with your helmet, and I know that is IP for his helmet design and also his image there. And he wanted 30% of the production for him just because of the helmet. And we already have the license for the manufacturer of the car, and we're trying to get the license from the team. And now for use the helmet, I need a 3rd license to release a car. And average is like 7 to 10%, so it's like 30% plus whatever the driver wants. It's impossible to make any business.
Yeah, because you create a product or a service, you have an image that's something is different. What you just said could be like if the person is recognized by the using of helmet, that's the rights of publicity, which is like it's regulated stated by state. It's not a federal law that regulates
Not
it.
even federal, all right.
Not even federal. Intellect, like trademarks, copyrights, patents, that's a federal.
Okay.
Rights of publicity are not.
But another question is like if a company from Portugal that has completely different laws that I don't even know decides to release a car using the team name, the manufacturer of the car name, and the driver's helmet, and they send to here, and I don't have any license to sell that thing, what do I do?
You can sell.
Cut this part. Cut this part. You can sell?
No, because there's another thing. What happened is that, let's say this company has the license to produce to create merchandise under this
Oh, we call
brand.
it merchandising now.
The product.
That's a different thing.
We are talking about the car,
Yeah.
the product. Yeah, that's merchandise. You know, also related to the brand. Could be or could be a product. Okay, so whatever you say, but it's like they give the trademark owner, let's say, grants a license to this company back in Portugal. But license, okay, what was they are granted through a territory geographically.
Yeah.
So let's say they have they might have the license,
Yeah, to sell
but
here.
they have in Portugal, not United States, because they gave the license United States to someone else.
But they might also have the license worldwide, no?
No, because this is a contract. This is established in the contract, in the license agreement. Then because you can have like exclusive license, no exclusive. You can define the geographic territory.
It's not a license to produce cars related to the IP. It's a license to sell products around the country, around the world.
To sell products with the trademark. What is the license? Okay. Let's go back a little bit. So
Let me grab my books.
First, okay, like I said, you have trademark, you have copyright, you have patents.
Okay.
So if I wanna give all my rights to you, I assign those rights to you, and then I don't retain any other rights.
Oh, that's not
Okay.
the case. All right.
No, but that happens. That can
Yeah.
happen. Some people sell everything, you know.
Yeah.
Like in the entertainment industry, people
Yeah.
sell because they don't want to start like make a movie or something with something attached to the writer or anything else, you know. So okay, I want to be able to do whatever I want with this.
Yeah. But that's some sort of a George Lucas Star Wars deal, right?
No, all movies
Like,
you
okay,
assign.
this is
Yeah,
your
the
Disney-
writer assigns the right. They can retain some like some percentage of the sales or anything, but the rights they're assigned. One thing is the money you receive for it. Another thing is the right.
Okay.
What happened? That's an assignment. Okay, if you give a trademark, you don't retain any rights. Another thing is a license. A license, I give you the right to use, and I retain all my rights, all my trademark rights, my patent rights.
But to use your IP, your design, whatever it
To
is.
continue using whatever I want to use for.
Okay.
So I could give you.
Let's say we're doing a keychain.
Okay. Do you want to go back to the cars, which are...
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
More.
That's not legal advice.
Not legal advice.
Educational, because
Yeah.
we have something we can relate to. So educational
Yeah, let's talk about
purpose.
Lambo. You were involved with Lambos.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, okay. That's
that's another
change.
story. All right. Okay, let's say we're talking about. I have a factory in Portugal that makes keychains.
Okay.
All right. And I say, look, Lambo, I need you to use your logo because I'm gonna make a keychain just using your logo
Now you can ask them to give you a license
to do keychains.
to do the keychains. But what they're gonna put in the agreement is what is the license is for,
Okay.
just keychains. For how, like if it's exclusive or not exclusive.
Okay.
Let's say only this company can produce make the
Make
keychain
Okay.
in that country. Or like I say, that's a non-exclusive. I'm gonna authorize other people to use as well.
All
to
right. So
produce
let's say.
and
you're-
for a time frame, which could be 1 year, 2 years after that the license is gone.
Okay.
And also like the geographic territory. It's gonna be only Portugal. No, you're gonna make it for Portugal.
To sell.
To produce, to sell, whatever. And then for here, okay? So, let's say Spain.
No, it's kind of not whatever because look, if I found a country that is kind of open for IP and licensing, whatever, like China, that they
Yes.
just copy BMWs all around. Like, let's say Portugal has no IP for branding, and I start to do Lambo keychains, right? Or even if you granted me the Lambo keychains to make it, I have it in Portugal, but if I decide to export this is another license that I have to sell
Yes.
it around it, right?
Yes.
Because one thing is to make it in a country, the other thing is just to sell it out.
Yes, yeah, yes or no, because then you involve international laws.
Okay.
If it get complicated, I cannot give you one solution.
Okay.
But here in the United States, let's say you give a license to someone to make the keychains. Those people, they start selling the keychains directly. They have, if there is in the contract, they're allowed to do that. They can do that.
Okay.
And also, like we were talking yesterday, we have the first sale rule. First sale is the trademark owner, the copyright. The second sale could be I could resell things. But
And then the agreements may vary. Like I can do it for a month, I can do yearly, I can renew. This kind of stuff is all negotiable, right?
yes,
And usually an IP office behind it. It's like a
Yes.
specific office for that, right?
it's a licensing.
Yeah.
Licensing department.
Like for example, we're working with Nissan, and I can tell you that they have an office here in the United States for the whole world.
Yeah, but also let's say if you're working with a brand who's only registered, like the trademark is only registered in Portugal, it's not registered here. It's gonna be like it's not gonna be the same case, you know, because they have to come here. They don't use the brand here, for example, the trademark.
Yeah.
So they don't. Yeah, if they don't use it here, it's impossible to give like a solution without knowing all the facts.
Yeah.
But that's what you need to think. That first, if the license, what the terms of the license are, and like I said, could vary case by case, and what laws are involved, international laws, local laws, and remember that intellectual property is only protected in the country which is registered, which is created. I don't get automatic protection from one country to another. With few exception to the treaties. Now, like for example, the trademark. I can register a trademark in the U.S. and then there's a treaty called the Madrid. And then I could get through the USPTO here. I could get protection in countries which are part of the treaty. I can file application, and now I want
So
protection.
they're making it easier on their side. For us, it's just like, oh my god.
Yes.
It feels like you're always trying to do every time that you try to reproduce something which it could be documental. You're gonna be fucked up at some point. Like somebody's gonna call us. Something's gonna help. That's why you're not involved in production, and we're just selling it, and we're selling, trusting that the manufacturers they doing the right thing. And sometimes they're not, but they're still doing it.
Yes. So you need to ask
for
your
legal reasons,
manufacturer
my
if you
name-
have the rights to do what you were doing.
Yeah, so for legal reasons, my name is Carlos Veloso. My social security number is 555. It gets very complicated. And also, we try to reproduce a lot of older cars, 50 years older or more. And like in Brazil, you have that law that if you're reproducing a song that is 70 years or older, it's public
Copyright.
domain, right? Is that public domain for cars?
It depends what you're
Depends.
talking. If public domain, yeah, some patents get in the public domain after
Yeah,
a period.
so-
Trademarks, they don't get in the
They
public.
don't.
Yeah, if you keep renewing
Yeah,
it.
if you-
Like a good
keep using
example.
it.
Yeah, that just people were talking about recently, like Mickey Mouse. Okay.
Yeah, just came out. Yeah.
So Mickey Mouse, it's a trademark and a copyright. The copyright is in public domain, but not a trademark. They can keep renewing for
Sure.
Yeah,
So can I
every
use the
10 years.
image, but I cannot call Mickey Mouse or
No, the image of Mickey Mouse is also protected to trademark
okay?
because they use in products and
But
service.
people made a big buzz about it, saying
Yeah,
like
but in
Disney's
the
gonna
end,
lose money. Nothing. Nobody's gonna.
Nobody is going to be able to copy because it's trademark. You go through trademark law instead of using copyright.
Mickey Mouse must be one of the design's most bootlegged at all time, right? Because it's one of the most old, like over
Yes.
90 years old now, right?
Yeah, yeah. Copyrights get in public domain. Like I said, patents, but not trademarks. If you keep renewing, some people don't renew the trademark, then you can use it.
So we're going to jail. Definitely going to. You're first. You're the first one. Yeah, you're the first one. I'm the second one. We're both Latinos.
No, you don't
Jesus
go
Christ,
to
you're
you don't
first.
go to jail. Yeah, for trademark infringement,
No?
copyright. No, for intellectual property. No, it's civil rights. You pay that. You pay damage.
Yeah, go. That's
Yeah.
all I need to know. Thank you.
No, we're gonna pay. We're gonna have a civil lawsuit. You could pay damage for it. But
Yeah. Very complicated. Very, very complicated. And again, I feel like it's not something easy to do. And as thinking about the cars and the manufacturers, they should be more helpful because you're literally trying to reproduce and pay them what they created. And it's always full of steps and send me samples. I didn't approve. I don't like this. I don't like that. And when you talk to the top guys, like the CEO of McLaren and Chip Ganassi, another CEO of a racing team, say, yeah, let's do it. Where do I sign? So I feel like there's a lot of middlemen involved to get this more and more complicated. I don't know. Maybe
it's good. But there's another thing that we haven't discussed. Let's say, for example, like inside of trademark law, you can register a trademark, but you're gonna register the trademark for the class for service or product that you are gonna use for. Let's say vehicles, it's one class. Toys, it's another class.
Yeah.
But if there is a likelihood of confusion between those classes,
Oh, okay.
then the USPTO is going to reject the application based on the likelihood of confusion. Because the main purpose of the trademark is to avoid consumer confusion. The consumer cannot think that the car that you were selling at your store, let's say, and then the real car, they're probably going to think, oh, like the brand made this toy.
This toy true, yeah.
So there's a likelihood of confusion in the mind of the consumer, and that's what the law wants to protect. So if it's simple as some like the consumer is gonna say, the average consumer is gonna say, oh, like this is of course they don't come from the same.
Yeah, sure.
You can argue in
It's
court
a
that
miniature, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, so they're not gonna do that. But it's logical that someone who
because
works with
we can
race
do-
cars, real ones, is gonna do something.
We can do a really bad product and people, it could interfere on their brand. It could interfere
Yes.
on the branding. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but there's so many products like you see those kid beds with Corvette designs and stuff like that, and that doesn't look like a Corvette at all, but they sell as a Corvette, and people are buying because they look like a Corvette.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very complicated thing, and that's my whole point with the manufacturers that we work. Some people say, like, you're not using the brand, you're not using the name, you're just using the naming it as the model number. Yeah, but everybody knows what it is. Everybody is buying this by the fact that this is a famous car that somebody worked their ass off to put out. And that's why they're desirable, because it's big and red and blah, 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 and was in a race. So it's very complicated. And I think each manufacturer, they defend themselves with the laws that they have. And yeah, my whole point is just, it's so hard to get it. It's so hard. It's so... hard to find the right people to get an approval, and how the whole process should be much easier, because you're literally reproducing and making toys so kids can play with their brand, play with their designs, their IP. Anyway,
Yeah, it's complicated because, as I said, sometimes you have more than one right involved.
that's true. Yeah, that's
Like, for example, another good example. Let's say you have a photographer takes a picture, and then someone used that picture, someone else used the picture.
Yeah.
Even if the picture is up, let's say someone take your picture, a photographer takes your picture and used to
Very
sell something.
expensive one.
Yeah, so just used to sell something else without the authorization of the photographer.
Yeah,
And without that's two infringements. First, the photographer for
Yeah.
the intellectual property, the copyright, and your rights of
Yeah,
publicity
well,
because they
my
cannot
image,
use
yeah.
your image to sell something.
Sure.
You know, you have more than one.
Problem there.
Yes.
And my image, I can charge whatever I want, right?
Yes, it's your image.
also the
it's your
photographer
asset. Like also
Is
ideas.
my ass there? What?
Asset.
Okay. Is your ass there? Yeah, my ass is there. I want my money.
Literally.
Yeah, it's like sometimes when we have prototypes and we don't have the car, we need to find an image of the car, a historical image of the car. And I've been buying. I find the photographer. I try to reach them out on Facebook and Instagram. Look, can I buy this picture? It's always like cheap because they know it's not a lot of money. But the last two I have to buy, I make some deposits just to use the image of a photo of this guy took at some classic race or something, so I can reproduce the car and show the car.
Yeah, but also you have to be careful with this because there's a lot of scams out there.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, that happened to me recently. I just did rebrand my logo, my firm's logo, and then I got an email saying, oh, like you were using a font and you don't have a license, so you need to pay us. And I said,
Which is true. Can happen.
could be, yeah.
Somebody designed the font, yeah.
No, and then I asked for the person who did my design, like, how that, because I'm
Yeah.
intellectual property attorney,
Yeah.
that cannot happen
You're
to me.
messing with the wrong dogs.
Like, I want you to make sure that you did the right thing. No, we bought the font and everything. We are out like from Adobe, and Adobe allows you to create image. And then I'll say, okay. And then I went to this. I just answered the email. I say, could you please send me the copyright registration for the font? After that, they stopped.
They stopped doing it.
So you have to make sure that you are infringing something and make sure,
in
investigate. If you just receive a letter, make sure if it's from a lawyer
Yeah.
or it's from like whatever.
Actually, I have some paperwork to show you because I'm serious about it. I think
that's
we got scammed.
that's going to be separate
I
legal
think we got scammed
advice.
last year, but we didn't do anything. But I think it was
Yeah.
kind of a scam because
So yeah, that's a legal advice.
Okay, then I
That's
cannot
not
disguise.
educational purpose. But yeah, so I think you have to make sure, check the sources. Comes from a lawyer. You
Sure.
know, find the lawyer online.
no, even though the lawyer could be like a fake lawyer firm. You
Yeah,
can-
but that's why you can look for the license on each state's website,
Okay.
and you can Google the
Anyway.
name to see if you know. So
I need to tell you something. Didn't happen at all. I still think I'm going to jail.
no, you're not
It's
gonna
not
go
clear.
to jail
It's
for,
not clear.
for
Right.
intellectual property infringement.
Oh my God! I have so many cars.
You can, someone can file a lawsuit, but not.
All right, I think in good shape. I think the slot talking about the slot card industry that is not common to you, but I think in the past 5 years they're doing such a great job. There's so many people making new stuff, and it's unbelievable. And I think everybody's doing a very good job. Everybody's growing. Everybody's selling more, and it's helpful for everybody. Like we're literally dealing. It's the first time that we're dealing with a car with 3 licenses. The manufacturer that made the car that was turned into a race car, the team that turned the street car in a racing car, and the driver.
Yes.
It's the first time that we have 3 licenses for a car. The car is going to be soon to be released, so we're very proud of that.
Yeah, I think also like because ideas, like I said, is one of the huge assets a company can have or a person can have. You know, sometimes if you produce something, but your idea, something you create, something's original,
It is protected.
protected,
And
valuable.
It's pretty fair, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so I
yours.
need to make money using
and-
my idea.
And if it gets to the point that people wants to copy or reproduce or even make models out of it, it means that that thing was successful.
Yeah.
2 things that I hope. One thing is all the manufacturers are watching this, and the second one, it could be a easily process to get a hold of those teams and those manufacturers so we can reproduce more and more slot cars.
Yeah, because also you have to go to the. It's not like the license department is the one who decides, but probably there are more people.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we want to do that. We don't want it.
Yeah.
It's like it's aligned with our branding here.
Yeah.
It's aligned with our brand to do that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of decision making.
Natalia, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming down here and sharing your class. This consultation disguised as a
No, not a consultation,
disguised as an
educational
interview.
purpose only.
Put the red logos on, not a consultation, all right? Natalia, thank you very much again, all right?
You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure.